pro part of the show and landed himself in the top 5. Chad Martin, you just walked in the door right into a press. He just got here like 3 minutes ago. He walked right up here to the stage. Chad, how you feeling this year?
I feel great. I was a little disappointed with my Universe show. I hadn't done an August show since like 2002, so I wasn't peaking very well. And, ended up having a great sit down with Michael Forensic, who everybody knows, a good friend of mine, hadn't seen in a few years. And he decided to pick my diet completely apart. So I'm 10 pounds lighter right now than I was in August. And this is the leanest I've ever been for a show.
Wow, how about compared to last year? What's your weight?
About 7 pounds lighter than last year.
Wow, so it looks like we're going to see the best Chad Martin that we've ever seen before. Now you landed yourself in the top 5 last year. I think it's a little bit more competitive of a show this year than it was last year. What do you think your chances are repeating that performance and landing a top 5 finish again?
I mean, any goal is to be in the top 5, top 3, and to win, obviously. But for me, the only person I compete against is myself, and to be the better, person I can be in, the better condition I can be in. That's where I'm at right now, by far.
You certainly did that. You're seeing the best Chad Martin you guys have seen. He's 10 pounds lighter than you were back in August, and I got to see you back in August as well. What was the most disappointing part about, besides the placing? Do you think it was the right placing for you? Should you have placed higher, or did you simply just not bring the look that you wanted to bring?
It could have been a combination of things. I'm not going to make excuses. As I said, I haven't been doing August shows in a long time. I always peak around November. Pretty much is all I've done. I've been with the PNBA now since 2001. I've done every Olympia except for a few of the Australia ones. So I've always peaked right around November. So it was kind of rough, I think, doing that show. It kind of woke me up a little bit. But what was nice was it gave me more time than I typically have had. Usually I do the USA. And like I said, working with Michael, I got to say Michael is amazing. For those who don't know Michael Forensic, who always comes in rip. He really impressed me with the help he's given me over the last 8 weeks, and I can't wait to step on stage.
Yeah, you've been competing as an amateur for years. You finally got your pro card last year. You know the physiques are different in the pros than they are in the amateurs. What's been the biggest challenge in competing as a pro?
Oh, it's conditioning, by far. I mean, that's the difference you see. I think it's the hardness of the physiques changes, and you got to get there. I mean, I've always felt I've always had good symmetry and size. It's just getting that last bit of conditioning. And so, like I said, I went to who I think is one of the best guys I've ever seen compete on stage with Michael with conditioning. And like I said, we had a great sit down and a lot of contact over the last 8 weeks. I can't wait.
Chad Martin, ladies and gentlemen. And we got Olympia. Hope I said that right. The overall men's winner at the Universe in 2011. You're from Australia. You've done one Olympia so far, so you're back at it again. How you looking?
Not sure.
You'll let the judges figure that out for you. We shall see. Well, you've been a pro for a couple of years now. You won the Universe back in 2011. Have you made any progress since then in terms of your conditioning or size or any key areas?
Size is sort of something I've always had. Conditioning is something I've always never had. So I'm just hoping now that condition is a bit better than it was a few years back. I had last year off just so I can work on trying to work out what's best for my body. Having a size is the same thing. It's one thing, being conditioned better is another thing. So I think I improved condition-wise, size-wise, a little bit more like on places and to fill out for just to natural these guys over here. Basically, I'm the newest pro. I'm the newest pro in here. I've never even competed as a pro. I feel like a 4-cylinder car trying to race with 12-cylinder cars.
Nice. Well, he's making his Natural Olympia debut this weekend. He's making his pro debut this week, so it should be a good one here. You got a tough lineup of competitors. We're certainly going to find out where you stand this weekend and get some of the world's best. Obi Akadaju. And we got here one of the world's best. He's on a whirlwind of wins over the last couple of years. His name is Marshall Johnson. Marshall, how you feeling?
Feeling good, real good.
And I've seen you compete on stage probably 4 or 5 times now. Every single time you come onto the stage, you're always the most conditioned in the show. Is that going to change this year at the Olympia? Do you think you're most conditioned this weekend?
Well, one thing I've learned is that Phil Ricardo, when I turned pro, looked at the number of guys that were at the top, Yoshi, and different organizations, and I'm on the East Coast. You guys aren't, they aren't there, so it's come out here to the West Coast to, mingle. And I realized that once I started winning, Ricardo said to something, hey, you're on the radar screen now, brother. You got to really bring it, because guys are going to bring it another level. Not that I'm some great guy, and it opened my eyes, and I said, you know what? You can't slack. So I bring, you know, the best condition that I can for that show. I feel like this show here is probably the best I have been, meaning that I've conditioned always there, try to get a little more separation, bring a little bit of fullness so I can stand next to the big guys, you know, and make it look like I am in that mix. So yeah, we always try to bring the conditioning. So I'm right there, or maybe a little bit tighter.
Yeah, so you know you're going to get the best Marshall Johnson you guys have seen. This guy beat Cleveland Thomas this year. He's had some heated battles with Moji Alua. Well, now you're going up against another one of the world's best, and Kiyoshi Moody, because when you're looking at the roster here, you look at Kiyoshi and you look at all the other guys, which you've seen a lot of them before, but then Marshall Johnson's name just pops out at you as probably his main competition. So what do you think your chances are of edging out Kiyoshi to maybe avoid making him get that 5th title this year?
Oh my goodness, I got to work through several guys to get through Kiyoshi.
Oh yeah.
Line up. But let me say this, I humbly accept that compliment because hearing my name mentioned with those guys that I looked at to say, these guys are great, and now to be mentioned with them really is almost kind of like go home and, honey, I can't believe they're mentioning me and putting me in there, and I'm at that top echelon, if you will, of great bodybuilders and natural bodybuilders, and I know what it takes to get there, so, you know, my hat's off to them. Having said that, everybody is coming in. I always come to win. The bottom line is, yeah, I'm going to try to bring the best and be better than I was last show, but I come to win. So did everybody here. If you didn't come to win, then you probably shouldn't be on the stage. Having said that, I'm shooting for the moon, and I'm going to land among the stars. That was my goal this year. And so far, it's worked out. Having said that, it's not just words. You got to put in the work to bring it. So, and then I can only do what I can do, bring everything I can, and then leave the rest up to the judges. But my hat's off to these great competitors coming out here and being a part of this organization, flying from Virginia to here to one. If Kiyoshi does retire, I want to make sure I've stood against the best on the East Coast. I want to make sure I stand against the best on the West Coast and see how we measure up. Never concede. I always say to people, if that's where the best is, then that's where I got to be. Got to see where I am in that mix.
And once you compete against Kiyoshi this weekend, you've pretty much done that. All these guys this weekend, you've pretty much done that and accomplished that goal.
Michael Waddington, let me just put this out there. You know, I just say this. I'm talking to Philip Ricardo, and I said, hey, you know, kind of look through it. And I know we all do this. So I was looking through different things and picking things out. He goes, hey, you're a pro now, brother. That's what we do. So I went to the Aussie site. When they said, and I started looking, I thought, man, they must get something with this kangaroo thing, you know? And sure enough, I pull up something, it might have been Mike Waddington, and I see a plate up for kangaroo, and I go, I knew it. There's something about that kangaroo. But it's just amazing. Their top athletes are like, I told guys, they said, really? I told guys, I said, you haven't seen Aussies? He said, no. I said, dude, they're in the lineup. I mean, they're bringing that PNBA, IFPA kind of conditioning size. You got to come correct. So leaving nothing out. This is a striking zone here.
This is huge. These Australians certainly bring it.
I'll get you some kangaroo, my friend.
And one more question. I'll ask Mike Lasik this because he's been around the PNBA, NBA family for a long time. Mike Lasik, is this the most competitive natural Olympia that you've ever seen?
This is by far the most competitive Olympia I've ever seen, and it's a privilege to be on stage with each and every one of you guys, as I feel you probably feel the same way with the studliness of this group here. So it's going to be an awesome show. I'm very excited. I know you guys are too. Thanks, Denny, for bringing this show together.
Denny and Dana Keiko's putting this show together. Ladies and gentlemen, one of these guys are going to be crowned the Natural Olympia champion. Here they are, your pro men for the 2013 INBA PNBA Natural Olympia. Thanks, guys.
Mike, that was wonderful. Don't go away. You're still connected there. This concludes our PNBA